and my mind is filled, and I'm coming back to meet you at the veil.
Thank you. We are the Awful Purdies, and we are very excited to be here with you for the kickoff of this brand new project. I'm going to play a couple songs for you and then let you know what everything's all about.
Everything. No pressure. We'll start with this project.
Missing all the same old news, not missing anything, there's nothing to lose. If you're out of love, were you ever in it out? Pack my bags, but there's nothing in them, they say. Love, but it's a many splendor. Love is strange. Don't know what you've got until it's love remains. No man should be a mountain you have to climb just to look into his. No man should be a mountain you have to climb just to look into his. Kissed a lot of boys, kissed a lot of girls, kissed a lot of girls. Homeless, faceless boys without hands to hold, left for the summer but they never came home. They said, love, it's a many splendor. Love is strange. Baby, no, I thought that you were different, because I thought that you were mine. And they say, love, love, love.
for being with us today. Like I said earlier, we are the Awful Purdies, and we are a local band to this area, and this is our 10th year together. We are so friends. So I wanted to take a little bit of time to introduce who we are as people outside of the band. And we're going to start with our two original founding members. Marcy and Katie founded this band 10 years ago, and we've always had 5 in our ranks, but Sarah, Nicole, and I came a little bit later. So Katie Roche is on the accordion, and she also plays a variety of instruments like the knives, and the washboard, and the flutes, and the glockenspiel.
I'll be asking for a volunteer later with the knives, so just
We've always wanted to get her like a Dick Van Dyke kind of outfit, you know, from Mary Poppins, that she can walk around in.
I would fulfill all my dreams, yes.
Katie Roche, during the daytime and I guess evening, it's kind of a 24/7 job. She's the development director for the Englert Theater here in town. Let's give a round of applause to Katie Roche. Next we have Marcy Rosenbaum, and Marcy also plays a wide variety of instruments, but when we started the Purdies, she just was on guitar and then has challenged herself. So now she's playing the mandolin and the bass. I'm missing something.
And she's singing.
And
she
she's
wasn't
singing.
You were singing backup at the beginning, but now you sing lead. Well, you only heard like 1 or 2 songs, you know, but now you do a lot.
But more.
And then during the daytime and 24/7, Marcy is a world traveler for her job. She works for the University of Iowa, and she's a professor at the medical school. Let's give a round of applause to Marcy Rosenbaum. Next came myself into the band. I came in on year 2. I play cello and violin. My name is Katie Sen. Oh, I also play bass too now. My name is Katie Sen, and during the daytime I work at West Music, and I oversee their orchestral division. Yay! I was going to ask for a round of applause, but I figured that might be a little too much. Then we have Nicole Upchurch, and Nicole Upchurch came in about year 3 of the Purdies.
I haven't even come.
Early in.
Yeah, maybe year 2.
But she actually came to the very first Awful Purdies gig. And I think you should tell the story about after seeing that, what you did.
Yeah, totally inspired by these ladies, and I went home and played my banjo in the bathroom, which is by default my practice room. It's quiet, kids can sleep, it also has pretty good acoustics. So I called my friend back home in Montana and said, when I move back, we're going to start an all-girl band, and we're going to take this name, Awful Purdies. So they recruited me so I wouldn't do that.
Well, there was many reasons why we involved Nicole.
That just copyrighted.
We also just needed a blonde. We didn't have a blonde. So.
Nicole is the coolest preschool teacher of all time. She works at Prairie Green and integrates Spanish and music into her curriculum, and people come from all over. She's so wonderful with children. Let's give a round of applause to Nicole. And then the newest addition to the Awful Purdies, which has been quite a while, probably 4 or 5 years at least, is Sarah Cram. And
6 or 7.
7 years.
yes, Sarah Cram Driscoll. I still call you Sarah Cram. I started playing music with Sarah Cram about 15 years ago. And she owns her own yoga studio in Cedar Rapids called Breathing Room. It's a beautiful place to be. She plays the guitar, and we love her songwriting. And the bass. And the ukulele. I'm sure we can find some other ones to bring in there too. Let's give a round of applause to Sarah Driscoll.
So one of the reasons we wanted to introduce ourselves and tell you a little bit about ourselves is since we're going to be working with the chorus, we kind of wanted you to all kind of know a little bit about where we all come from and sort of what some of the things we're going to bring to the table. So the next part of this program, we're going to play some songs from our last album, which was called All Recipes Are Home. We're going to talk a little bit about those songs and talk about that project and the songwriting involved in that, because we're going to be teaching you a little bit about song circles that Marcy's going to, story circles that Marcy's going to tell you about here. But All Recipes Are Home, we were invited by the playwright Sean Christopher Lewis, who's now the artistic director for Riverside Theater here in town. We were invited to write some songs for a play that he was writing. That's how it began. And then we decided to write a grant to the state of Iowa, and the same grant that Family Folk Machine won. And the idea was that we wanted to, instead of just writing songs about food and farming, which is what the play was going to be about, we felt like, oh yeah, we have probably some assumptions about that and some things that we could probably think about or research on our own, but wouldn't it be a lot cooler to tour around the state and talk to real people about their lives and gather information and stories that way? So we developed this story circle thing that Marcy's going to talk about. So this whole thing culminated in an album called All Recipes Are Home, and then this musical that was also called All Recipes Are Home, which toured around the state and was sponsored by Hampshire, Grinnell College, and Luther College, as well as the state of Iowa. And it was a really wonderful adventure and a very, very strange thing, because not only did they take our new songs that we wrote for the play, but they incorporated some of our old songs into the play. So these old songs, one song that I started writing when I was 18 years old ended up in the play, and suddenly there's a character in the play singing this song. And it was just a really moving and amazing thing. And I think that's one of the things that you're all going to experience in this project, is finding those little tidbits and those words and those meaningful things that you've clung on to write these songs, and then you'll get to hear them sung by all your friends. It's going to be so cool.
And you've got these notebooks, which I'm assuming the reason for them is to write down any inspiration that you have, maybe something we said or something that resonates with you. So feel free to use that for your own personal use. Did I get that right? Is there anything else that you'd like to convey? Just start collecting ideas, is what Jean says.
All right, so I've been asked to describe what we mean by story circles. For this project, actually, we did at least 4 of them. And part of what we decided to do, since we wanted to write about food and farming, is we decided we wanted to talk to a variety of different groups of people so we could get different perspectives. And at each of these places, so for example, we went to Seed Savers in Dakota, and a bunch of farmers, after we played a concert, came and sat around in a circle with us, and it was a wide variety of farmers, people who did community-supported agriculture, pure organic farming, to people who did traditional farming, to people who eat food and don't necessarily farm, or people who worked in the food industry. We also did it with the Center for Worker Justice, which is primarily immigrants, and it's in Iowa City, and we'll talk to you more about that one. We did one mainly with people who ran community-supported agriculture in Solon. And then we also, for people who couldn't come participate in our story circles, we asked them to answer a couple of questions on a survey if they wanted to. So I'm just going to explain to you how the story circle process worked very briefly, and then I'm actually going to get you to do part of a story circle, because part of what we know is it's easier to really grasp things instead of someone talking about it if they can show you. So we're going to try to show you a little bit. So overall, what we did when we went to each of these communities is, I think a lot of the people who turned up didn't understand what we were inviting them to do, but they were game anyway. And so we would sit in a circle, and part of the reason I think I facilitated all the circles is because for my job, I do things called focus group interviews. And I was saying, well, the story circles are kind of like focus groups without the science part. So more fun. So it's drawing on that idea of the reason you talk to people in groups instead of one-to-one is because as you're listening to people in a group, you get other ideas. So you can kind of build a deeper story, get people to talk about things in a more elaborate way. So in all of these story circles, what we did is we just started out by saying, what does food mean to you? Like, what meaning does it have in your life? And we actually started by saying, why don't we just go around this circle and everybody just say like one word of what it makes them think of. Because we were talking to farmers, so just imagine if I ask a farmer, what does food mean to you in your life? Probably had more than one word to say about it, potentially had a lot to say about it. I know with the new project is asking people about their lifetimes. That might take a while to talk about. So you can use some methods to get people to one, be brief and commit to a particular idea instead of feeling like they have to say every single thing you need to do. So what I want to do with you is a little experiment. And we thought, as far as the topic, so we're not using your topic, we have a topic that we would like to investigate with the story circle, which is music. So what I would like all of you to do is reach underneath your chair, and you'll find a goldenrod colored piece of paper.
It's kind of like Oprah.
And what I'm going to ask you to do first, and I'm going to give you only a very short period of time. You want what?
I want to talk.
But I'm only going to give you like a minute to do this, is I just want you to write down about, I know everyone in this room, I suspect that music, which is the question, what meaning does music have for you? I suspect for all of you, music has tons of meaning. I mean, that's part of why you're here, and that's part of, for those of you in the chorus or in the chorus, it's certainly, we could talk about it for hours and hours, but I'm going to ask you to start with, and I'm going to give you really 60 seconds. I want you to write down just a word. It could be a feeling. It could be an event you're trying to remember. It could be a song. And I'm just really going to give you 60 seconds to write on that piece of paper one word in terms of what music means to you. Everybody got it? Ready? Do you want to do Jeopardy music?
No, too stressful.
No pressure. We'll just watch the clock.
Oh.
I'll just watch the clock. If I don't know.
I could have done more. I could have done
For one word.
Oh. Here we go. Oh, you can start out. Okay, hang on.
You don't have to do anything. 5 more seconds. No, I'm doing it. Am I wrong? No way. That's why I always, when I tell people a minute, I always say that. Just kidding.
10 seconds.
This is the newest member of the Awful Purdies, by the way. This is, wait for it, this is my granddaughter. Rihanna, and she's our new sound person, so, and timekeeper, apparently. All right, okay. So we actually do not probably have time to hear the word that each of you came up with. So this is our little story circle right here. And so what I would do in a story circle is I would start by saying, what's like one word or phrase about what music means to you? Can we start with you, Katie?
Sure. Thread.
Communication.
Memory.
Sisterhood.
Church. All right. Actually, and just to make this, I want to call in 3 random people who's got something. Yep.
Elevation.
Ooh. Behind you. Yeah. You.
It is a miracle.
A miracle. How about one person from this side?
Dancing.
Dancing. And one more. You had your hand up.
Liquid.
So now when you just hear that one word, you need to think about what's it already making you do. You're like, ooh, there's some stuff in there. I want to know more about it. And so, with a story circle, you can actually start with one word, but then say, are people willing to elaborate on what they had to say? And part of the thing with the circles is there was no pressure for anybody to contribute if they were feeling shy or they might not have been ready. They could always say pass if you do it around in a circle, or we could just say, who wants to elaborate on what they said already? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you 2 minutes to elaborate on the one word you put on your sheet of paper in relation to what's the meaning of music. And just to give you a heads up, we're going to have you hand this in at the intermission, and then we're going to use this we're going to give some of your words back to you in the second half. But I'm going to give you like 2 minutes to write down what you can in answer to that first question, but a little bit more. right, so part of the reason I just had you talk to each other, and it's something you might decide to use in your story circles, is what we know. This is from education, it's from my other job. That if people think something and then they get to try it out on one other person, they're more likely to feel comfortable speaking up in a group because they've already tried it out on someone. But because we have such a big group, I'm not going to ask any of you to speak up here, but actually we did not rehearse this. I just told them I was going to do it to them. So they were running this story circle, and I'm wondering if people are willing to elaborate a little bit on what they said. So is there anyone here who'd like to just share a little bit more about the meaning of music?
Sure. My word was sisterhood, and it was the first thing that came to mind, and I was like, okay, well, it's obvious I'm standing up here with my whole female band, you know. But really the initial reason for putting the band together, of having all women together, was I was really interested in seeing what would happen when we played music together. So for me, this band has been an exploration of the idea of feminist governance and the idea of putting your own personal ideas, holding them close, while still trying to elevate other people and make sure that everyone's voices are heard. So that's what sisterhood and music mean to me.
That's lovely. And what I want you to do as we're listening, this is the hard part when you're doing a story circle, is you want to listen, really listen, and see, whoa, what are you hearing? What are some of the key words that stick out besides sisterhood? Like for Katie, there was a lot about connection, feminism. But a lot of it was connection, creating things together. And so what you want to do is just be fully listening for what's in there, because that's going to provide the basis for the stories you tell in your song. All right, who would like to go next?
Sure. My word was thread, and I've realized that in my life, music has been the thread that connects everything. It's my job, it's my passion, it's my life, it's with my children and my husband. So that's what music is to me.
So we're starting to hear some common themes here. All right. Who else would like to share?
My word was memory, and when we get together and make music, I think of creating memories. And then also, you know, when you hear a song and it takes you back to a time and a place in your life, visiting old memories and feeling those feelings. So that's why I chose memory.
And so we got, again, another person talking about creating things together and things being connected. Would you like to share? You can say no.
It fits right in,
You
actually.
can say pass if you
Because when I oh, thank you. I appreciate that. When I started talking with them, I realized that my word was less communication than it was the word connectivity, because it allows you to connect with people from all walks of life.
And then my answer, I talked about church. And really, the reason music makes me think of church, and I will admit I'm not a churchgoer, because music is my church. It's this idea of, I know that church is something that people have a commitment to do on a regular basis, and that's how music is for me. I feel, if I don't get to play music at least once a week, I feel uncentered. So that was just trying to show you an example of what can come out of a story circle. Then with that, what you might do is, we're not going to do it here because you don't want to just listen to us talk, is that you would pick up on a theme and go, so these people were talking about connectivity. Did that spark any more thoughts than anyone? So as you were listening to what all these people were saying, did it raise some more thoughts for you as you were thinking about, oh, what does music mean to me? So that's how story circles work, is you bounce off other people's ideas, and then you can get a much deeper, much more complex idea of whatever the subject matter is you're talking about, which I know for the Family Folk Machine is going to be talking about people's lifetimes, and especially when they were young. So that's your introduction. All right. So now
Now we're going to play some more songs for you.
Yes, okay, who's my volunteer? No. Nina's like, this next song, Kill Floor, was from our third album, and this song was one of the things you'll find when you start writing music is you're gonna find that this Jungian idea of the collective consciousness, like imagine like a cloud floating over top of us, and we're all talking about the same ideas and things. You're gonna find that themes idioms and phrases and things like that will just kind of be coming out of lots of different people at the same time. It's just a really neat phenomenon that happens. And so we wanted to write a song about meatpacking because we felt like the story of food was not complete without that. And who wants to write a song about meatpacking? That's crazy, right? But we did. And then, turns out the playwright said, gosh, I really think there needs to be a meatpacking scene in this. And we said, well, we don't have a meatpacking song. So, it's just like, here we go. So, this song is called Kill Floor.
Gristle and bone, hoof and horn, hanging weight, leaving me torn home. Discarded bag strap, gotta save, gotta send my dollars back home. No bull, no bore on the kill floor.
Singing a workday song, help move the day along. Hope it won't be long till I go home.
Blood of the beast, feeding the feast, shoeing the feet of my family back home. No bull, no bore on the kill floor.
So this next song we're going to do is a song called Heartland. And I wrote it using the poetry of a dear friend of mine. Her name is Miriam Alaconavila. And I actually was struggling trying to write this song about immigration. And I went over to her house and sat on her couch and said, Miriam, I just need some help with the song. And I look up and she has this beautiful painting with a poem right next to it. And it is just so everything I wanted to embrace in this song. So Miriam gave me permission to use her words, and I was able to translate some of it. It's written in Spanish. Another part of, speaking of gathering themes and hearing things over and over again, we went to Center for Worker Justice and did this story circle. And again, I could hear things that were coming out of Miriam's poetry. And it was just that idea of a land without borders. And one woman shared a story, well, she said she had a dream one night that she had transformed into a dove and was able to fly wherever she wanted to go. And one theme we kept hearing at Center for Worker Justice was that some people hadn't been home for many, many years. Had lived here to help the betterment of their families, but weren't able to go back and visit their families for fear they wouldn't be able to get back into the States. And these were legal immigrants. They were here with working visas. So she's looking at me. So
Well, I'll just say something about it, just because for those of you doing story
Yeah.
circles, those story circles, we actually all ended up crying
Yeah.
at a couple of points. And it was fine, and it was
Yeah.
good. I mean, I think when people talk deeply about what has meaning to them in their lives, that it can be emotional. And I think if it ends up being emotional when you're talking to people about their lives, it's a great thing, because it's not just in your head thing, you're asking people about their hearts. So.
yeah, and I think I said so. I looked at you because I remember you formed questions based on what you heard. So you asked them, we weren't planning on asking that, how long has it been since you've gone back home? Home meaning South America, Mexico, whatever. And then there were some people who said 15 years, and it just broke my heart. So, so we wrote this song in the very final verse. Well, first I wrote this song in 3/4 time. Here's a little songwriter, how it works. I wrote it in 3/4 time, and it sounded like this. At home, I'm Americana. At school, I'm American. We used to live in Savina on the south side of the borderland. So then out of necessity, we realized that we had a lot of 3/4 time songs going on in the album. So this was a practical decision.
It's that waltz feel.
We have that waltz feel, and we had like 4 songs. Like 4 waltzes on a 10-song album is overkill. So we went back and said, maybe we can rework this song. And Marcy actually went on a trip to Mexico, and you tell this part.
So I went to Mexico, and I was for fun. And I was relaxing, and there was a band at the place I was staying who played guitar and was singing, and I said, and he was from the Yucatan, and I said, you know, will you show me some traditional rhythms, guitar rhythms on guitar, because we're working on a song, and I would rather have the song sound more authentic, more, we're talking about, have it sound more like where people are from than where they've ended up. And so he taught me some things, and I brought it back to the band.
So we'll be performing it for you that way. And before I start, I just wanted to translate a little. Most of it's translated, but there's a little bit at the end that isn't, so for those who don't speak Spanish. The final verse talks about the heartland, but our hearts are divided in 2. And then it says, one piece provides life for us, and the other is, and I'm not going to translate this very well, but enterrado, like in the earth, like pottery or something buried deep in the earth, in the south, waiting and hoping. And then also at the very end, it's in this life we ask that our dreams be full of wings to fly in a land without borders.
He sounds different.
At home, I'm Americana. At school, I'm American. We used to live in Sabinas on the south side of the borderland. My mother, she is a painter. Her landscapes are vivid and bold. Her dark eyes reflect the memory. Recuerdos de México. Y mientras caminamos por las tierras del norte, nuestros corazones apuntan al sur. In the north we may stand, still our hearts are directed south of the borderland. Abuelito, he worked in the factory for $1.25 each day. His worn hands a distant memory, maravillas upon his grave. Y mientras
And in this band, everybody goes, oh, everybody writes songs and everybody sings. And I came to this band without ever really writing a song on my own. But I found, and you'll find this in the story circles, you might actually be thinking the same thing. I don't write songs. But what I want to talk to you about is you've got skills. And you might not think of what your skills might be right away, but you'll find how you can contribute to your group and to the songs. And so in my previous life, I was an orchestra director. And when I first heard this song, where I came in was with the arrangement. So I was thinking about each instrument in a different section and how I would conduct the entrances to this particular song. So as you start to listen to Don't Know You Anymore, you'll find, and I'll actually conduct for you today, how we've really rolled the instruments in. The other part of this song that I want to show to you is a hook. Does anybody know what a hook is in music? Or can define? There's a song about it. Was it Blues Traveler? There's a song called Hook. What's a hook? I see a hand up.
A hook is kind of like a line that like draws you in and makes you think, oh wow, I really want to hear the rest of what this song is about.
You got it. That is a great one. Thanks. Really good feedback. It's that one piece. It might be a small phrase that your brain goes, I want to hear that again. I want to hear that again. What was that hook again? And so when Sarah first brought this song to us, I heard that hook that was happening. And that it happens kind of in the cello part, but that reoccurrent theme that you want to keep hearing with it. So let's go ahead and play Don't Know You Anymore, and you can listen to that beginning roll in and listen for the hooks within the song. This is my favorite part right here. This is what brought it out for me.
You're good to yourself, don't care about anyone else. So fun to be around, till I was the one that got shot down. All the nights you stayed, everyone got laid, but I don't know you anymore. You hurt me, it's true. Now I don't worry about what you do, 'cause I don't know you anymore. I don't know you anymore. But I'll always love you. I don't know you anymore. But I hope
since you guys, another little tidbit that popped in my head on this one, I couldn't find my part, and so I just started playing with tunings. So with a banjo player, especially if you're feeling stuck, try a different tuning. It helps.
And you just messing around with tunings made the song. I mean, that's what I keyed into. I heard that banjo part and went, we have to feature that banjo part. It was so cool.
So we mentioned that we sent out some surveys to farmers and food workers working in farmers market situations. We also invited farmers to write us letters too, and that was sort of an extension. You might discover along the way that the group of people you're trying to talk to, or even an individual, might be more comfortable writing things down. And so the very first letter that we got in the mail, I was so excited, and I thought, you know, don't get your hopes up, Katie. It's probably not going to just like turn into a song instantly, you know. I read the letter and instantly wrote a song. I was so happy. But the letter was from a farmer named Lois Pavelka, and you guys might know Lois. She's often at the farmers market in Iowa City with Pavelka Point Farms. And her letter to me, I think that maybe she thought she was writing a letter that just said, this is what my life looks like as a farmer. And for some reason, the way it hit me that particular day, and also because when you're in the songwriting mode, you're going to be looking for meaning and looking for that seed all the time, and it's a really great way to live your life. It's a really beautiful way to live your life, just always looking for the beauty and the message in things. And so when I read her letter, to me, it was about the beauty of hard work. Something that, you know, we like to talk about how hard we're working, and I'm so tired, and I've got so much going on, and I was kind of sick of hearing myself say that at that point, and I was trying to turn myself on the head at that moment. So, so for me, it felt really wonderful to write a song about how great it is to have work and have a full life. So this song is called "Rest These Bones." Oh, that's okay. We'll give you a second to go to the right tune.
Another part of the song,
I was actually going to say, there is a second question on your yellow sheet that asks about if you have a particular memory, and we'd love it if you would at some point fill that out too. When we go on break, we're going to collect them from you right at the end of the break. So. All right.
All right, rest these bones.
Rest these bones while the sun sleeps, works down the dawn. The more we grow, the less we keep when the season comes. Tired body, quiet that mind. work these bones while the sun keeps her light shining on. The more we know, the less we sleep when the day's done. Tired body, quiet that mind. Rest these bones while the sun sleeps. Work's never done. The more we grow, the less we keep when the day's done. Tired body, quiet that mind.
I think it's worth mentioning that we recorded this song just in practice many, many times before we decided on an arrangement, which is an important thing to do. And Katie Sen actually, with her high coyote part, we were calling it. When we heard that back, we thought, yeah, that's cool. We'll get it better.
I think I was just messing around too.
Yeah.
Or we got the inspiration from the dear late Rufus. The dog would sing to the song every time we play it, anything else but this song, and so I think we needed to have that.
Yeah, you immortalized my dog on the song. Yeah.
Okay, so the next song, this is our last song, and then we're going to take a little break. It's called Tube Top and a Shovel, and it is a song about canning or preserving food. When we were making music for that musical we were in, it was all about food production, and I love gardening, and I think canning vegetables and jams and things like that is so fun, and it's so cool to be able to preserve that little bit of summer and have it in the wintertime. And if any of you don't know what canning is, it looks like that. Those two pictures over there, there's a lady showing off her bounty, all that hard work. That had to have taken lots of days.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm glad I got to write this song about canning.
And you'll notice in here, we've taken inspirations besides from Sarah's writing from a couple of other things in existence, which we just changed a little bit. So we'll talk a little bit more about it, but you can borrow things from things that are out there. You don't have to create everything as if it's never been thought of before.
It's not always plagiarism.
No.
Sometimes it's just
It's
borrowing.
inspiration. Ready?
We spent most of the summertime relaxing.
Relaxing
In the sun, the sun.
It was fun.
It was fun.
But now it's time to get work done. The the time is coming on is to say what we need to eat. Bring your good stories, I swear I'll make it sweet. Put your goods away, the harvest of today. Spend some time together while we can. Back when I pressed these seeds into the soil,
I didn't know
what would grow? Just a tube-top
And a shovel.
There's always so much more to sow. Yes, there's a risk you're taking, who knows what it will be, but if you dig a little deeper you might see. Put your goods away, the harvest of today. Spend some time together while we can. There's something that's pure magic and it brings some satisfaction. It is truly part of living off the land. Put your goods away, the harvest of today. Spend some time together while we can.
All right.
Breathing peace, breathing peace. I will sit, peace, I will hold, peace, I will walk, peace, I will talk, peace, I will sing, peace, I will sing, peace, I will live, peace, I will try to breathe peace. Breathing peace, breathing peace, breathing peace, breathing peace.
Welcome back. So you guys, we're gonna give you some more things to think about when writing music, and so we're gonna play some songs and give you some tips. And so this next song we're gonna do is called "Shake the Leaves," and kind of the story. One of the lessons or practices that I put in place when writing this song is that sometimes you have to forget about the audience when you're writing the song, and you have to be willing to have it be kind of ugly for a little bit. And the kind of the ugliness or that in-between place, for anybody who's like ever like written a story or written an article or even like trying to come up with a joke, there's like, it's not like finished the moment you think of it, right? So you might actually have written the end of the song first. And in this case, that's kind of what happened with this song. I had all these ugly little pieces and bits that didn't really make sense separately. And some of them I had for a very long time. I had this idea of a dog singing to the sirens. You mentioned my dog earlier, who was a beautiful singer, Rufus. And I knew that I wanted to commemorate him somehow. And so I had that little tidbit and all these little tidbits, and it was such an ugly thing. And we were in the studio, and I said, guys, I really wish that I'd finished this song, and it's just a shambles. And these wonderful friends said, okay, let's work on it. And we polished it up, and we put it together, and it turned into this song. So I always describe this as a love song to my husband and my dog. My dog's okay with it. My husband's not as happy about being grouped in with the dog, but... I need to shake the leaves loose from the tree. Let the fruit fall to the earth. Dig a little deeper, get up under the roots. Honey, I need to give birth, 'cause I'm full, oh, I'm full. And you're so far away.
younger life, a younger life. We found a while, the dawn sang to the silence, so I need to shake this hand down from this ground. Let the sunlight hit the grave. Sometimes it seems like all we ever do is work. Let's just stay in bed all day. Think back on the city life, on the city life. The soil was full of bones and trash. Think back on another life, a younger life. We never knew what was gonna last, so I need to shake the leaves loose from the tree. Let the fruit fall to the earth. Dig a little deeper, get up onto the roots. Honey, I need to give birth, 'cause I'm full, I'm full. And you're so far away. Winter's been long and we've been wearing too many clothes. I need a hot summer day.
I'd always wanted to write about how when I tried to put a garden in New York City, every time I dug into the ground, I would turn up just like trash and just junk. And I felt like it was such like a metaphor for my time there. Like I loved living there, but it was also like, I just want to grow some tomatoes. Do I really need to pull a tire out first? And like 18 boxes of used kitty litter that someone buried in the ground. Like it was crazy.
So my contribution to thinking creatively and writing songs and just being an artist in general is clearing space in your mind for creative thought. I'm a yoga teacher, so I teach people to try to do this all day, every day. And it's just one of those things that the more you practice it, the better you get. But it's a neat thing to say, clear your mind, but it's incredibly difficult to clear our minds. There's always going to be something rattling around in there. But if we can stop thinking and planning and tasking for a little bit, even if it's just 15 minutes a day, maybe while you're washing the dishes or driving your car or pulling weeds, anything like that, these mindless tasks, that's the perfect opportunity to just let go of conscious thought and just kind of be open to whatever thoughts want to come in. And oftentimes that's space that you need, that you've created for those creative thoughts to come in. And a lot of times that's when maybe a song idea will hit you, or an art project, or just a really off-the-wall idea, you know? And so creating that space to make room for creative thought is a good way to invite in those ideas. And another really great way to write songs and think creatively is to surround yourself with creative people that are open and non-judgmental and like to get silly and throw out crazy ideas. Surround yourself with those kind of people so you can be free. And so this next song is called I've Got Friends, and it's about that idea. And the interesting thing about when I wrote this song is it was maybe a month before these guys asked me to join this band. So it was almost like I was manifesting this idea of surrounding myself with these creative women. So
Good job.
it's called I've Got Friends. Ready?
I have about songwriting, the biggest tip I have, especially because of the project that you're doing, is actually I realize most of the songs I write are based on listening. Not necessarily listening to other songs, but listening to what people are saying. Because what's so interesting to me is actually when you're writing a song, if you hear several people saying the same thing or conveying the same feeling, then that means that it's maybe not a universal experience, but that a lot of people can connect with that idea or that feeling. So as you're doing your story circles, part of the thing to listen for is, do you keep hearing the same kind of idea over and over again, or even the same like vision or symbolism, or just anything that keeps sounding the same even though it's different people saying it, or are they saying something similar? And to me, that's always an indication to go, wow, this is something that would probably be a useful thing to write a song about, because it's an experience that at least two people share, if you've heard it from more than one person. Often it's an experience that more than a few people share. So that's one thing I think can be really helpful, is really, oh, what is that I keep hearing over and over again when I'm talking to people about their lives or their childhoods or whatever it is. And so this song that I'm going to sing is based on something I just kept hearing over and over again. Probably I've heard it all over my life, but from different friends, men and women during my lifetime, I've kept hearing this thing about, it has to do with the way people talk to themselves, not in holding a big conversation, but that often people are not very nice to themselves when they're talking to themselves. And I got this idea in my head of, you'd never talk that way to anybody else, the way that you talk to your own self. And so that's where the song came from, and you'll see if it resonates with at least one other person in the room. That makes me happy. And we'll see. My allergies are a little funny today, so we'll see how it goes. One, two, I heard you talking to someone, harsh words coming out of you, saying that she wasn't good enough, saying her friendships were Why are we so hard, so hard on ourselves? Why is it okay, to talk that way to anyone else? Why are we so hard, so hard, so hard on ourselves? Why is it okay? Is it really okay? We were taught that way to anyone else. We were taught that way. We don't have to talk that way. How are we on time? What do you guys? Let's see. So what do you think? One more song and then. Oh, you've got a couple of songs. And we want to read too.
Yeah.
Okay.
You guys start.
You're the timekeeper. The gatekeeper.
All right, so we're going to do a tune from our album Hiatus, and it's called Perennials. So Marcy was saying she listens to what people say, and
You don't, are you?
what's that?
And Nicole's gonna say she doesn't listen to people. No, just kidding.
I
She
just
really
say
does.
whatever. No, I think I observe. I watch people. I love to people watch. Like, and not with judgment, just observation. There's a big difference, right? So I often write songs about my neighbors.
Don't move
While
in
I'm
next door to
peeking through the
Nicole.
window with them. No, I'm just kidding. I don't
Don't
nearly
live
enough
next to
time to be that
Nicole.
creepy. But this one I actually wrote about a neighbor of mine that had passed away recently. And the thing I observed was that she always had these beautiful perennial flowers along the side of her house. But in the wintertime, she would mark where they were going to come out. And I just felt like, I don't know, I'm just watching that, and I don't know, winter to me is kind of intense in Iowa. I don't know if anyone else has that experience. I don't know. Probably all of you. But spring is what makes it all okay, right? So I just observed that she was marking where her perennials would come up. And it just so happens, and this is where it gets kind of dark, but most people just think this is a light, fun gardening song, I've been told. That her husband actually passed away that winter that she was marking where it was coming up. So that kind of brought a new layer of meaning to it. So what I have to offer to you as songwriters is that you don't have to draw a moral out of things. You can just observe. And I mean, there is meaning everywhere. So just write what you see. Another thing, she had these fake monarch flowers, or monarch butterflies on her house as well. So I had to put that in there.
And the other thing you'll notice is Nicole plays the guitar like it's a banjo.
So again, if you're, you know what this was like? I didn't have a banjo handy. I was at the school and the only thing available was guitar, and I had a moment. Like I found inspiration driving the car, which is often what happens. So I'll record it or I'll write on sticky notes, like multiple sticky notes. And this is one of those like, I just want to do this right now. I've got 20 minutes. And all I had was a guitar. So, but I don't really play guitar, so I just played it like a banjo. She believes in perennials. She collects old things. She has patience like the prairie, reaching up towards monarch queens. She believes in the spring. She believes in perennials, tries to dig a hole to lie down with warm memories, but the ground's too hard and cold. She believes in the spring. They all lie awake me. Another hurting horn to bird house of calling, both distant and forlorn. She believes in she believes in the spring.
I do want to follow up on something Nicole said, which is that idea of when you get an idea, capture it. And I think my biggest regret is that I have great ideas for songs, and I don't capture it at the moment because I think I'm going to remember. So I love for people who have smartphones instead of, I think my husband has a dumb phone. Smartphones, they're really, now what I do is I'll just record whatever it is I come up with. And I have several songs that I have written just based on one line that gets in my head. Like, there's a song, what do we call it, My Time? And I was driving home from work and I heard that Don Cornelius had died. Does anybody know who that is?
Soul Train.
Soul Train. He was the head of Soul Train, who was like a dance show when I was a teenager. And what occurred to me in my mind, I went, oh my gosh, all my heroes are dying. And that's actually the main lines of the chorus now. So I just started thinking that over and over again, and I ended up writing a whole song about a woman who's watched her husband go to war and come home, and it actually ended up being a song about war, very interestingly. But anything that you get, either keep singing it to yourself over and over again, or keep saying the line over and over until you can write it down or capture that thought, because you won't necessarily remember it. And the story I want to share is just, how many of you have heard of the song, The Mother and Child Reunion? It's by Paul Simon. Do you know where it came from?
Chicken and egg dish.
Chicken and egg. So he was waiting for food at a Chinese restaurant and passing the time. And on the menu was a dish called The Mother and Child Reunion, and it was chicken and eggs. And that's where that whole song, which I always thought was a very poignant song. It's only emotion away. And that's where it comes from. And so pay attention to those. Pay attention to those things that strike you and capture them. You said sticky notes, recording it on your phone,
There's
repeating
lots
it over
of
and
free
over again.
apps available.
There's lots of free apps that do,
Recording, if you just search.
yeah.
You'll find it for you.
And if you lose a thought, don't be hard on yourself. Listen to Marcy's song Voices. And don't be hard on yourself because more will come if you are open to them.
And it'll
Sometimes
keep coming
they
back.
leave.
Yeah.
Sometimes they leave and it's okay.
Set them free.
All right. So this is going to be our last song, and then we're going to give some of your words back to you. This song is called Two Leather Boots, and this was truly a collaboration, writing this song. We wrote this song for an album called the Iowa City Song Project, which the Indoor Theater commissioned, and it was about 30 bands, and everyone was asked to write songs about Iowa City, and that was like the only instructions that were given. So the songs were all over the place. So this song probably means a little something different to each of us that contributed to the words. And for me, I'd had a fragment that I'd been sitting on for a long time that was about my friend and I in college and how she had this really good pair of dancing boots to go out kind of dancing, and I would steal them from her all the time, and then she'd steal them back, and she'd say, "Where are my boots?" And I'd like kind of pull my skirt down over her. I don't know where your boots are. And she also had a really great skirt that was fun to spin around in, and we also traded that skirt back and forth. And I always thought it would be really fun to just immortalize that moment when I was younger and I'd go out dancing like every single night. I don't do that anymore. So to me, it's about those times, and we actually didn't even write this in the room at the same time together. In fact, we all landed in the studio at different times to record it. So when the song was over, it was a giant surprise to all of us.
And then we had to learn it too. We were like, oh, we don't actually know how to play this together.
Yeah. It was kind of crazy. So ultimately, to me, this song is about that unbridled youth of Iowa City taking to the streets. Maybe not like the football, tailgating crowd as much as the people that we were, which was in college, which was jamming on back porches and grabbing Pappy and saying, "Hey, let's go to that party." And believe it or not, Pappy's one of my college buddies. I know it's hard to believe. He is. All right, so Two Leather Boots. New Year's Day in the graveyard, marching patterns in the snow, Lincoln Pinky's resolutions, changing colors between the shores. They share two leather boots between them. She wore them out dancing, then she wore them out dancing. They share one spin circle skirt between them. She wore it out dancing, then she wore it out dancing. Sing through
the hill. Burn a circle where I stand. Fireflies rise when feet brush the land. Oh, a bag full of books, but a broken watch. Yes, sisters sit in a circle, and the circle never stops. Sing through the streets, oh, back alley street. Every porch is a door, crash down on the floor. Sing through the street, oh, north side brick street. A warm jug of wine, gold meets the sky, gold meets the sky. I'm going to give the words back to you. What meaning does music have for you? Dancing, opening, how the vibrations of music make opening a direct, live line to the heart of the musician and the admirers who love it too.
Expression, outburst, joy, Appalachian Spring.
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Funny.
Just as we share genetic material with our ancestors, we and our music are at once the same and completely different.
Flight, spirit soars.
Legacy, a link to the future and the past. Life is more meaningful when you imagine yourself in community or understanding with musicians from the past, like Bach, who was often misunderstood by his contemporaries, and with people who will carry music on in the future. Elevation, miracle, dancing, thread.
Communication. Music is one of the keys to the mystery of the universe.
Life-saving. Makes me feel life is worth living.
God, the way the Lord has changed my life through music and being blessed to share my talents and gifts with others.
Calming inspiration. Singing songs at camp, playing in a jazz band at West Music.
Belonging. When you sing and play with a group of people who all love music, it's like a community that's all working together to make something beautiful. You feel like you can do something special.
Time. For me, music takes up a lot of my time, but it isn't bad time, it's good time. But music has also been a part of life, cultures, animals since time started.
Comfort. Vibration through chest, throat, head. Relax anxiety.
Liquid, flowing free, playing with the voice.
Happiness.
Lifestyle, like the current and the river of time. It's essential.
Friendship. Making mixtapes for friends, thinking about what they would like, trying to impress them. Wanting to share music that was so meaningful to me and create a connection with the recipient.
The air I breathe. Filling my lungs, ever-present, sustaining, life-giving, and necessary.
Singing or togethering, joining in a harmony, moving to groove, foot tapping, knee slapping, humming, breathing, resounding sounds.
Creativity. I wrote a song. It's about my 1-year-old brother. It's probably the most creative thing I've ever done.
Expression, how to say things without real words.
my soul. I'm not a religious person, but singing and music feels as close as I can get to religion. It makes my soul light. I feel a part of something bigger when harmony and song comes together. When things get into a piece of music, music makes you move from the inside out, emotions to dancing feet.
Memory.
Life.
Happiness. Music always makes me feel happy. If I'm listening to it or singing, I always feel happy. Or if I'm dancing, it gives me a really good feeling.
Inspiration. Music inspires me.
Soothing, peaceful, distress, relaxing, contemplative, and expressing ideas that words can't explain or other forms of art can't describe.
Emotion. A language to convey feelings that cannot adequately be expressed with words alone, or to enhance or add subtlety to their expression.
Joy. The experience of recognizing the feeling conveyed by music and lyrics, even though the subject of the music may be sad or happy, and feeling it again when the song or music is repeated and becomes familiar.
Piano lessons.
Life. Music is like a life. It is everything. It means my life to me.
Hamilton, because I love it.
Yeah.
Healing. A connection to the divine. Even when I thought I'd left God aside, through music I was held. God had me the whole time. Through music I was made whole.
Integrity. What holds me together, what involves the entirety of me, structural integrity, the only way to be fully honest.
Participating, singing alone or along, toe tapping, clapping, listening, enjoying.
Emotions. From feeling invincible to defeated and totally lost, from the highest high and the lowest low and everything in between, what the experience and what I feel inside.
Satisfying. Listening to music I enjoy is fulfilling, almost like a good meal. Emotional sustenance. It can raise my threshold for stress or give endurance.
Memory. Singing in the pines.
Transforming. When I'm feeling too stationary, I can play music, usually YouTube, and become energized and feel myself surrendering to images and new feelings.
Emotion and joy.
Mood enhancement, relaxation combined with pure joy. One word equals heritage in summation.
Singing, ensembles, teaching.
Connection, openness, secrets, expanding, heartfelt, tears, inviting and curious, out of bounds.
Essence, depth of feeling emotion, the core of what it means to be human, deep unconscious connections that we all have in common, intensity of feeling.
Elevation. Music can take one to a different plane. It may be on higher ground or very mundane, but if it is an aspect of life that takes one from the non-musical reality.
Happiness.
Is there one more?
Okay. I think you guys are going to be very capable of writing great songs. Those were really amazing words. Thank you.
Yeah, and did you listen and hear how many common themes there were across it? So we're actually hoping we can take some of this. And we're trying to come up with a song especially to sing for when we're sound checking. So maybe we'll take some of these words, and we know several of you shared memories as well, and we'll figure out a way to share them with you. I think we were going to do one more just very upbeat song for departure. Sure. Do you want to say something, or? Okay. We'll give you a minute, because this is your fault. We're just going to play one more song for you. And the other thing is, as you're thinking about songwriting, I know you're collecting material for writing. You've already heard that part of what we think about is, what do we want the song to sound like? Do we want another waltz or not? The song we're about to play for you, I ended up writing it, and partly because I had some real purpose behind it. I wanted an upbeat song. There's a really fun band in Germany called Katzenjammer, which is a bunch of women who play kind of quirky, very upbeat music. And I heard them and I'm like, we don't really have a song like that. I want us to have a song like Castle Jammer has. And I also wanted a song that we could share together, that wasn't just for one person. So this is it. It's our over 30 love song. Please don't tell me how I'm supposed to be if you want to. What you get is what you see, that's right. There ain't no change in me. If you want to love me, you gotta let me.
Now I once knew a woman, she couldn't keep her man. Once she get her fingers on him, she'd start a fresh plan to turn this pretty good into Mr. Right. She'd say, do this way and not that way, all through the day and night. There was always something about him she thought she could provide. She was always disappointed when he couldn't toe the line. And he'd say, please don't tell me how I'm supposed to be if you want to stick around. What you said is what you see, that's right, that's right. There ain't no change in me. There ain't no change in me. If you want to love me, you gotta let me be. Oh, I once knew a man and he thought he was so cool. He said, I'll take you as you are. I don't have too many rules. Then he told me to be humble while he told me to be loud. He said I wasn't quiet, said I was too loud. He wasn't wanting contradiction, couldn't see with his own eyes. You can't see you except me, all you do is criticize. And I said, please don't tell me how I'm supposed to be. If you want to stick around, what you get is what you see, that's right. That's right. There ain't no change in me. No, 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 no. So if you want to love me, oh, let me be. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't try to do your best. You just gotta pick your battles and let go of the rest. Cause it's hard to let your guard down any other place. Yeah, home is where the heart is. It's where you should feel safe. If you're trying to turn the one you're with into somebody else, if you want them to be just like you, then go live by yourself. So now please don't tell me how I'm supposed to be. If you want to stick around, what you get is what you see, that's right. That's right. There ain't no change in me. There ain't no change in me. There ain't no change in me. If you want to love me, you gotta let me be.
Now I got me a man who thinks a difference is a sweetie. Knows that I say anything. Not that me up because we rarely say it's just a sort of man. I do them because I want to.
I do it because I can.
You do that for me. I'll do it for you. Everything together with the love that gets so tricky. Nobody's telling me
How I'm supposed to be.
that's why. I like what I see. That's right.
That's right.
Nobody's trying to change me.
Nobody's changing me. There ain't no change in me.
That's why you get to love me.
Because you let me.
That's why I get to love you.
Because I let you.
That's why you get to love me. Because you let me be. I look forward to continuing to work with my family's vocal team, and Jean just wants to come up and say some words of inspiration.
How about another great round of applause for This has been a totally fantastic afternoon. Thanks so much to all of you, and you've given us a lot to think about. If you have ideas, write them down in here so you don't lose them, or record them on your phone. If you want to take the notebooks home with you, feel free. If you could not lose them and sometimes bring them back to rehearsal, we're going to be doing some writing things this fall, and you may have a use for them at rehearsal. If you know you'll lose it and want us to keep it, you can leave it here before you take off, and we'll collect those and have them available at rehearsal. We have some time now for socializing. We've got some refreshments in the back, and you're free to visit the really interesting and fun collection in the 2 museums out here. And Emily, do you have an announcement?
The one thing I want to say is just thank you to the Iowa Arts Council for supporting our songwriting project, and we're really excited to embark on this big and long project.
Yep, it's going to be, we're venturing into the unknown, and we're happy that you guys are venturing with us and leading us along, and all made possible by this grant from the Iowa Arts Council through the Senior Center. So thanks to everybody, and thanks to all of you for being here today.